Here we are. We're getting stuff all packed up. We got my dad's pack. We've got my pack. We got some food, rifles, more food and stuff. We overpacked a little bit because right after the mule deer hunt, we're going to a different part of Wyoming, and we are doing a antelope hunting trip. So, should be fun.
How touchy is that trigger?
It's pretty touchy.
It's at 8 ounces.
Yeah, it's light.
It's like your wedding night. As soon as you touch it, it's going off.
Once we knew that the gun was still on, we decided to hit the road to get to our hotel at a decent time. And we decided to saddle up in the morning and hit the mountains. We got camp set up. We're getting all cozy. We got a movie going. This is our spot. It's a tent. It's a pretty good looking area. Water is crystal clear. We got all of our drinks soaking over here. We just got camp set up. We got 2 days before season actually opens, so we've got a while before we really need to worry about killing a buck. So there's our tent. They're in there watching a movie, and so I decided I'm gonna come up, get in some shade, and start glassing. Hit up. Don't even gotta go too far from the camp. I've already got a super good vantage point. This is what I'm looking at. Got tent and just the lake down there. It looks freaking good. I think tomorrow we're gonna hike up and across and look off the backside of that. And then tonight, we'll probably get up to here, look off the backside and see what we can't see. But there's that lake. You can completely see the bottom. Doesn't look like there's any fish in it or anything, but this is some steep stuff. Got the spotting scope set up. Got some nice gosh dang. Got some nice green patches I can glass through. Some nice green patches with some timber and some good shade where some big bucks might be hiding in, so we'll see if I can't glass something up. Alright, so I just glassed for the past 3 hours. All this country. Going back up into there. Just being super thorough, looking in all the shadows at the bases of trees and stuff. Just looking to see if they're bedded down anywhere. I'm gonna go get something to eat real quick. And then I think I'm gonna head up on this. Get up on top so I can look off the backside of this mountain and we'll see if I can't spot something on the backside. Well, it's getting to prime time. I've been glassing for the past few hours. I've only spotted 3 does. There's 2 other hunters on this opposite ridge. So, we still, tomorrow, the season isn't open, it's the day after tomorrow. So it's still kind of early. I'm kind of surprised there's already other people in here. I thought everyone would be coming in here tomorrow, but it seems like those guys liked or wanted to get up on top early. We'll probably stay up here for a little bit longer till it gets pitch black, and then we'll either make some dinner up here or we'll probably just drop down to camp. It's only like 800 yards down the mountain. It'll probably only take us like, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. It's pretty steep, so we may have to take our time. So, I'll probably see you guys once we get back at camp. We got Jake and my dad glassing up there. Good old chicken teriyaki. What do you got over there?
Lasagna. And a Pepsi.
Lasagna. Pepsi.
Where's my Pepsi at?
And take me back here.
This is what I'm glassing today. Got up on this ridge. Jake and my dad are down the ridge like 200 yards. I'm actually gonna hike up there another 350 yards. And that way I can look off the backside and have a different vantage point of this face. So, I'm gonna keep moving. I gotta get up to there. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Getting up there. No deer yet. Alright, I just glassed for the past 2 hours. I glassed this whole basin back behind me. And not a single deer. So I'm gonna hike back up over this ridge and go top above where I started glassing this morning and look and see if I can't find any deer where my dad and Jake are glassing. Well, I glassed this canyon and the opposite canyon, and then I glassed third canyon. I didn't see a single deer. So my dad and Jake saw like 10 bucks and probably I think he said like 10 does or something on the face over there. One of them probably, they're guessing, was about 150 inches, roughly. I mean, it is quite far away, so we're not positive, but now I'm hiking back down to camp. We're gonna get our tent and hike up that mountain and just work our way around the canyon and try and get over there. Set up a camp for tonight, tomorrow's opening morning, and see if we can't find a bigger buck mixed in with those other bucks. Oh my gosh, look how steep this is. It's literally basically a cliff. Okay, here we go. We're gonna go set up a spike camp, leaving the main camp.
And they're all double crossing each other for a time. Working each other over. Even though they're working for the same thing. Yeah. They're competing.
That's where we're going. What do you think of the hike so far?
It's not bad. Piece of cake. I'm glad I got up this morning.
We just got up on top. We're going up there. Here we are. Our camp is just over this ridge back down that bottom. This morning I was glassing on that ridge right by those trees. And we decided to hike all the way up and around. We got up about right there and then have worked our way over. We've still got, I don't know, a ways to go. These, I'm gonna put a link in the description where to get these. The best mountain snack. It's pulled pork. It is good. We got up here to the top. We're up in this grassy flat. About, I don't know, 800-900 yards over, like 2 or 3 ridges over, is where we saw this buck and some other bucks. We saw a decent, it's not very big, but it's like a 4 on one side and it's a big 4 on the other, but he's still in velvet. I'd much rather have a smaller buck in velvet than a bigger buck not in velvet, because I've never shot a buck in velvet. So we're just drying out everything, getting some food going. It took us way longer than it should have to get up here, but tomorrow's opening day. We've seen a lot of good bucks here in past years, so I'll see you guys when I get up there to glass. Look at this country. It is steep.
Because they're gaining on him. There, Flint.
Shot the horse in the ass.
Alright, we're headed up to do some glassing. Yesterday I spotted a buck down off this side of the mountain. And we spotted 2 forked horns on the other side of the mountain. And then there's a few other does. So we're gonna hike back up on this ridge and see if we can't glass up a bigger buck this morning. It's opening morning. It's a couple hours after sunrise, and I've been glassing. I spotted one buck that's about 800 yards away. I only saw him for about 10 seconds, and then I tried to put the spotting scope on him, and then he went back over the ridge, so I couldn't see how big he really was. But I was sitting here glassing, and a bird landed on my head. Well, opening morning update. We all kind of split up about 100 yards. I spotted a buck about 800 yards. I couldn't quite tell how big he was. I don't think he was anything huge or anything. But then Jake spotted a doe that was a decent ways off. And since then, we haven't really seen any deer. We've heard some elk bugle, and we've seen 9 other hunters so far. 2 of them were like 700 yards away from us, and we watched them go up around this turn, and then we heard 2 gunshots. So I'm pretty sure they got a buck. And then we heard 5 other gunshots earlier this morning from some people that are quite a ways away, and that's about it. So we're all kind of taking a break right now. It's about 2 o'clock, and I'm probably gonna change out my base layers and maybe get something to eat, and then I'll go back and keep glassing. Alright, this is my setup. I got my socks drying out. My feet. I got resting on my pack. Got my rifle, binoculars, and shoes all sitting out. So, got the sun right in my eyes though. I'm in like the only area where it's decently close to where I'm trying to glass from, where there's shade. Then we spotted 2 small bucks. That's freaking right where I was looking the other day.
They both got velvet.
2 little baby ones. Alright, so I'm just editing this video, and this part needs some explaining. So, we had just spotted those 2 little forked horns, and we're glassing, and we look to this other little opening. And there's the, like, 150-ish buck, we were assuming, that we saw from our main camp the day before. And so we're looking at him through the thing, getting some cool video of him. We see that there's some other hunters, like, 300 yards above him. We're watching him. And then all of a sudden... Did you see both the guys?
I think he sees the guy on this ridge. Oh, shot, Mitt. I think he sees the guy on this ridge. Shot, Mitt.
They freaking shot him. And that was... I don't know if it was quite the biggest buck that we knew was in that canyon, but it was definitely one of the bigger bucks in that canyon. There's one other buck that we saw that we think was bigger than that one, but we'd only seen that buck for like 5 seconds, and he went back into some trees. All right, so after we realized that dude had shot probably one of the biggest bucks in that canyon, and it wasn't even that big of a buck, we decided to head back to our main camp the next morning. And we hiked back to our main camp, went back to bed. We woke up, and in the morning, this is what happened. Well, we got up this morning, decided to hike up the ridge just up above camp again. What the heck? There's a freaking whole group of dudes with their horses coming down the ridge. Gosh dang it. Anyways, we decided to hike up the ridge 100 yards-ish from camp. And we start glassing. I spotted a forked horn. We look over to this other area, and me and Jake. Alright, so I'm going to finish explaining what I was going to explain right before I got kind of interrupted and I turned to look up towards my dad. So I'd seen the forked horn, and then my dad had spotted a buck that was still in velvet. He wouldn't have scored very well, but he was still in velvet. He was a decent buck. He was like the second biggest buck in that canyon that we knew of, and he had a radio collar on. And I just thought that was cool, so I wanted to go try and get that buck because I've never seen a deer with a radio collar on, and it would be cool to get the information to see where it migrates during the winter. So we went down, we put a stock on him, and got like 500 yards from where he was last. And the hill we saw him on was just like basically completely bare, and then just had just like a couple trees here and there. We could not find him. Like, he just vanished from that hillside. So we're like, he must have like saw us and spooked, because the sun was in our eyes as we stalked on him. So we couldn't tell if he had like ran somewhere, but we couldn't find him. And then we walked back to the spot where I was just talking to the camera, and I saw the horses walk by. And then in that past clip where I was explaining, or was trying to explain what happened, right as I turned my head, my dad was hollering for me to hurry and come up there because he had spotted that buck where he was. And so I ran back up there, and we ended up figuring out where he was, and we assumed he would bed down, and he didn't bed down. He just kind of worked his way out of the trees out into the open area out in the sun, and we knew he wasn't going to stick around very long out in that sun. And the next patch of trees were like 300 yards around this ridge, so once he got around there, we'd basically lose him, and we wouldn't have a chance of really probably seeing him again. So we decided to hurry, run down the hill, make a stalk on him. And then the phone scope footage you're watching right now is when we got down, made a stalk on him, and I decided to take a shot at him.
Okay, just watch him. Not yet.
That's good.
Okay, watch, he's gonna come across now. Okay, get him right there. Over, he's high. Aim at the bottom of him. Aim at the bottom of him.
Where's he running?
He's going to the left. He's still there, he's not.
Didn't even come close. Damn it, Flint. Oh, I think you hit something there. Yep, it's hurting. I'm still, damn it. Oh, there you hit something, Flint.
Alright, so right after this happened, we watched the deer go uphill, like another 100 yards, and he went into some thick brush and bedded down. And so we decided to just wait for, like, we thought I had maybe, like, gut shot him or something. We weren't quite sure, but, because it sounded like I had been hitting him, or hit him at least one of the times, but it was just the bullet impacting the rock. And so we saw him go up into some brush and bed down, and two hunters, an older guy and a younger guy, came around the ridge. Literally, they walked around the buck and sat down probably maybe like at the most 50 yards, if not like 30 yards. I think it was probably like somewhere in 40 yards from where that buck was bedded down in the brush. And I was just sitting there like freaking out, like they're gonna freaking bump him out. And they ended up not bumping him out, and they just kept walking up the ridge. And we had talked to those guys the day before, and they said they were gonna head out. So I think they decided they were gonna head back to their main camp. And they started going back up, and like 5 minutes later, that buck got up and ran straight to them, and they shot him. The dude that ended up getting him was a 86-year-old man, and he was hiking the same mountains, the same terrain, everything that we were hiking. He was putting in just as much work, which was pretty impressive, honestly, because these were some insanely steep mountains, and this is definitely not easy country. This is some hardcore country. So sadly, I did not get this buck, and we watched back the footage, and you can see after my second shot, he's kind of limping a little bit. Well, we hiked up to where he had bedded down, and there was like 2 tiny little drops of blood, and what we think it was from is when I was shooting under him, the rock exploding, we think the rock shattered, like nicked his leg or his foot or something like that, but these other guys ended up shooting him. I'll put a picture of that buck right here. But this hunt's not over, so let's get back to hunting. We then hunted for 2.5 more days, and we saw, I think, a couple does, and then we saw this black bear.
That's a good bear.
Whoa, look at his head. That's a pretty big bear. I mean, look at it compared to those trees. See his face? Giant.
You better make sure, brother. You can. I'm pretty sure you can, but I'm not sure for 100%.
Look at that fatty.
That's a big bear. Yeah.
And then that was basically it for the last 2.5 days. We literally saw like no bucks that were anywhere worth shooting. So we decided to just come back to a different part of the hunt that opens later, and it opened a week and a half after this hunt opened. So we decided to come back thinking that we would be able to get a better buck maybe in a different area at a different time. And so if you guys want to see that video where I do get a buck, I will be uploading that here soon, and keep an eye out for it. If you guys want to make sure you see that video, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell. It'll alert you when I upload that video. That way you guys can watch it and watch a video where I get a decent mule deer buck, and it's my first mule deer buck ever. So keep an eye out for that video. If you guys want to see more hunting and fishing content made by me, you can go check out my Facebook and Instagram. I'll put it right here. You guys can go hit me up, have a conversation. If you got questions about the video, make sure you comment them. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and I'll see you on the next video.